Hey, hi guys. Good morning.
Hi.
Thanks for joining. Yeah, you don't need to join by video call. Okay, it's good to see your faces. I'm glad to see your faces. Yeah, but video is not mandatory here. I will be sharing my screens. I'm turning off your videos. Guys.
Yes.
You to work. Awesome, Nada.
Yeah, let me give a couple more minutes so that if there are any late joiners, so that I can take that. Okay.
చెక్ చేసుకోవాలి మార్కెట్ ప్రతి దానికి ఒక మార్కెట్ రాసుకోవాలి ఈ విధానికి ఒక మార్కెట్ V1 ఏం లేదు కదా మీరు స్విచ్ ఏం చేస్తుంది బ్రాడ్కాస్ట్ చేస్తారు ఆర్ట్ని బ్రాడ్కాస్ట్ చేస్తారు ఎవరు క్రియేటర్స్ స్విచ్ వద్దు
So I think we can get started. Let me start sharing my screen. So first of all, thanks everyone for joining. First few minutes, I want to get started with just my introduction and your introduction as well, so that everybody knows about all of us. And then I will be giving you the today's class basic agenda will be like just the introduction to Hadoop. Okay. So all your doubts related to the course and course contents and the basic intro to Hadoop, what is Hadoop and its history, and so what are the components that will be covered in this training and what all needed for setup. Okay. Yeah, Hemant, for individual persons, for giving the recording option, I think I need to make everyone as host, and multiple hosts are not supported in this. Anyway, don't worry about the video recordings. The day you, before the end of day, even the 4 or 5 hours after the training session happened, within that 4 or 5 hours, you will get the video recording.
Okay.
So I will upload that on daily basis. You don't need to worry. And even in case if I forget any day recording any session or something, I will I will compensate that by giving from the previous sessions or previous training batch or something like that. But generally, what you need, what support I need from your end is you should observe this recording button. Whether this you will find on left side
Top left, and it says it's recording.
Yep. So try to observe that at least someone from the batch, and if it is not getting recorded, please intimate me so that I can start recording from there onwards.
Yeah, sure, Shiva.
Yeah, so by default, I made it as auto record. As soon as I started the session, it will start recording.
All right, cool. Thanks.
So today's main agenda will be just the introductions about yourself and myself and about Hadoop. And from tomorrow onwards, I will be starting with the basic Linux skills. So for Linux skills also, I am spending one session so that you all guys will be familiar with the Linux knowledge. Okay, because as a Hadoop developer, you need a minimum Linux skills like Linux commands and basic shell scripting knowledge. So all these things. And once I provide you the directions, then Google will help you out in writing all the complex shell scripts and all, if you need anywhere. Okay. So as most of you guys know that, Hadoop, surviving as a Hadoop developer requires mainly 3 skills. So the basic one is the Linux commands, it's a bare minimum, the Linux commands, and SQL commands, and core Java basics. Okay, so out of these, the Linux commands I will cover in one session, and SQL commands I'm not spending any separate sessions because I will be going through them during our Hive and Impala sessions. Some of them in Pig also. Just similarities between your Pig commands and SQL. And the core Java basics. So based on the batch count, and if you need me to refresh the core Java basics, I can send a couple of sessions, and I will share those videos as well with you. Okay. If I find only 2 to 3 resources, I will try to share you the videos from my previous batch on the core Java basics. It will be around 4 to 5 hours of just refresh on the OOPS concepts, like what is class, what is inheritance, what is object, so what are interfaces, what are inner classes, what is collections, all those basic fundamental touch-up. Okay, if most of you guys are already familiar with Java, so then I will skip that sessions and I will share those videos with only those remaining candidates, and I will follow up with the remaining candidates to get up to speed. If not, I will spend a couple of sessions on that for only the non-Java programmers. Okay, so whoever is coming from the non-Java background. Okay, so this is the basic, foundation that I want to give you before we get thoroughly started with the HDFS and Hadoop things. Okay, so out of this, even in all our, if you know the course contents, the HDFS, MapReduce, and Yarn, and Pig, Hive, this is the sequence also of our course contents: HDFS, MR, Yarn, Pig, Hive, Impala, and HBase, and Scoop, Flume, Uzi, Hue, and this Cloudera Manager. This is for administrators. And the parcel level installations also I will explain. Explain in the sense, just the configuration stuff I will explain. Okay. So parcels installations, if you guys are interested, I will give you the links from our blog so that you can refer them. Even on top of, even after that, if you need them, any parcel level installations or the the vanilla Apache Hadoop installations, I will give you the appropriate links. Even after that, if you need any help, I will take up some separate sessions for whoever is interested in that. Okay, so those are something like, whenever I say some based on your curiosity for core Java and some of the admin's skills videos, this is purely upon your interest and on my time availability. So we'll plan these things. Okay, but whatever is committed for you guys on these concepts, I will give it for everyone. Okay, and also including the Linux essentials and SQL stuff as well, and the basic configuration properties for each of these things. Anyway, I will try to cover in for everybody. Okay, so these things for admin skills, I don't recommend everybody to go through that, because as you know that the admin openings will be very less when compared to the developer things, and developer openings will be a lot in the market, and that's where you'll find interest also. Okay. That is the small gist of the course which we are going to cover. So today, let me first get through of you, and yeah, you may see the head count today about 10 members. Yeah, but since this is the first class and demo class, so once after I get the confirmations in another couple of days after a couple of sessions, so I'm trying to limit the count to not exceed beyond 10 or something. Okay, unless until there is any serious request from sincere request from anyone. Yeah, so since this is demo class, you may find the head count around 13 or 14. I think 13 members are there. Okay, so including me, it shows something. Okay. Yeah, total of 13 are there. I can see it. Okay. So I want to get the basic introduction about yourself. So I will go by the name here. So I will unmute you. Hi, Akila.
Hi, Shiva. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, Akila. So how was your practice sessions going?
Yeah, it's going quite well.
Okay, that's great.
This is Akila. I have a couple of years experience in Java and a couple of years experience in Android. Now, currently, I'm into Hadoop.
Okay, so you are a pure programmer then? Both
Yeah.
Java and Android means. Okay. That's great. Then it's pretty easy for you to pick up, and I hope you already got that confidence by going through the videos.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Akila. Yeah. Dhanraj. Dhanraj, can you hear me? Any audio issues? Okay, that's okay. I know about you. Okay, no worries. Yeah, I just wanted to introduce you to the team. Okay. So I see one person joined with the guest name. Not sure.
Yeah, that's me. Neetu.
Neetu. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, I have a QA testing background, but I'm just trying to get gist of Hadoop. That is a buzzword in the market these days. So I'm
Yes.
not sure. And I know VB scripting for the purpose of automation script enhancement, but I also know a little bit of JavaScript. But
Mhm.
yeah, core Java is something I need to learn.
Okay. So if you're really looking in terms of testing perspective, you don't need the core Java skills. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is for each and every tool. So
Mm-hmm.
here in Hadoop tools, uh, you will not find that much flexibility to write automated scripts unless until you are familiar with some of the Unix shell scripts. So which can query, which can go and fetch your Hive tables, Impala tables, and pig scripts, run the pig scripts, and collect the results and monitor the log files and all these things. So you can, so I would recommend you to focus mainly on the scripting part. So shell scripting and pig queries and Hive queries and Impala queries and HBase commands. How are you going to test them, each of those tools? Mainly the data will going to reside in HDFS, HBase, and Impala, these things only.
So this course will cover the testing part as well?
So testing part in the sense, I don't specifically highlight this. This is for testing and this is for a developer. So
Mm-hmm.
I will be covering the tools almost like in and out. So 90% of the commands present in that tool. Okay. So based on that, let's say if I give one example, just one example, I will tell commands to create a table and to load the data into those tables from HDFS and to just to verify whether the contents are present in that and whether some of the records are valid or not, whether the count is matching or not. So that will be applicable for developer and as well as for tester, right? So what, especially in terms of big data, it is not possible to validate each and every record. That's for sure. Okay. So in terms of testing perspective, you will be doing the count validations, the basic preliminary test. And once the counts are matching, you will do some ad hoc random record checking. Means take some first 100 records, some last 100 records, in the middle, maybe after 25% of the file, again 100 records, just validate them and randomly pick some records and give them a shot that whether those records are perfect or not.
Okay, yeah, got it. Just one more thing. Do you think how difficult it is to get into this Hadoop development? Considering
For
I don't
Hadoop
have.
development, in the tools that I listed here, only the MR needs the Java programming. Okay. And to be frank, even this Java programming, MR Java programming got reduced a lot these days. When I say these days, from last 1 year or so, where people are moving to some. I mean, this is not to market myself or advertise myself.
Mm-hmm.
Slowly, things going towards Spark and Scala in place of MapReduce. Okay, but to understand these yarn architecture, pig, hive, and HBase, I mean, a little bit of HBase and scoop, all these things. So MapReduce concepts are needed, MapReduce concepts, but Java programming will still be needed in some places. Like almost all your pig programming can be done through SQL-like commands, but not the SQL. It's not exactly the SQL dialect, but
Yeah,
still.
SQL I'm comfortable with, so I think SQL is doable. And
Yep.
I do understand the Java concepts because, like, when we are reading the JavaScript codes,
Mhm.
some of the Java concepts also, like encapsulation, inheritance, but just the, you know, idea. But never did programming, ever.
Okay. So again here, so SQL kind of knowledge, big in 95% is will be there, and Java just 5%.
Okay.
So this is for UDFs, user-defined functions, which Hive did not provide us. And Impala, again, the same stuff, 95%, and 5% of C++, if you guys are really interested. This I will not cover anyway in the course, the 5% of writing the UDFs. You will, I mean, as per my confidence, you will not get, you'll never get chance to write UDFs inside Impala. Even if you need, I will provide you these links for that from our blog itself. I have documented them very well, writing them in C++, because if I start explaining you the C++ headers and C++ procedures as well, many people will go blank and all those things. Okay, so there are many places where advanced concepts, I mean too much of advanced concepts that may be helpful in very rare scenarios. For them, I will be providing you the documentation and something like that. So something, if you see the C++ UDFs, if majority of you guys poll it for yes, we need them, I will definitely cover in the sessions, even if it exceeds beyond the 60 hours of planned Hadoop training sessions. Okay, so generally most of the places you will get 30 hours of Hadoop course, but we'll be at the minimum 55 hours to 60 hours I will cover. And on top of this, again, beyond this, if you need any help in any of the areas to go even more deeper, I'm always okay with that. At least I need voting from four members, so that, I mean, it is worth enough to spend the time. Okay.
Hey Shiva, this is Funny here. Do we get any projects to work on? Like,
yes, Funny. What is your question?
sorry, do we get any real-time projects to work on, like, or do we get environment to do practice?
For practice environment, yeah, it's a good question, and I will be helping you out to set up this on your laptops itself. Okay, so the basic virtual machine, and I will be showing you all the examples also from the virtual machine. So then you may get doubt, when will I get the real environment feel? So I will help you in showing up the real cluster, and I will show the migration gaps as well. Okay. And what there is, if you practice in your Cloudera Quick Start VMs, okay, if you are 100% thorough on this VMs from developer point of view or the admin point of view, only 10% of things will vary in real-time cluster. Only the connectivity things, that's it. Connectivity things will vary in real-time environments. That anyway, I will show you the actual real-time clusters also, and what are all the tools that are needed to connect to them, because you will not be getting that GUI, graphical user interface, for the real-time clusters. Then how are you going to manage the file transfers and the command executions and any jar files copying and the jar submitting, all those things? I will show you live and you will get those videos. But that real-time cluster access will not be given to you guys because that is something that confidential and some client-side clusters those are like. Okay, but I will definitely make you confident for the real-time. So whatever I'm going to cover this Hue, Cloudera Manager, and some real-time project tools. So here, like Putty and some Mobile Storm, some terminal tools. and FileZilla or WinSCP, some Eclipse anyway it will be covered. So how do you connect to the connection strings and all, and some DB visualizer to connect to your HBase, all this stuff through SQL kind of stuff, maybe in case if needed. Okay, so I will try to cover the real-time project tools apart from the tools that we cover in the big Hadoop ecosystem. Okay. So is that fair enough, or you really need a 4 or 5 node cluster to be set up and all those things? I don't really think that you need a dedicated cluster for that. Again.
Yeah. So as long as we can get to practice, or we can get to do some of the basic things that normally everybody get to do.
Yep.
If we can get that kind of an environment where we can play around,
yep.
I think that should be good enough.
Yeah, that in setting up that basic environment for your practicing, I will help you by guiding on the quick start VM setup on your machines. That is more than, I mean, in my opinion, that is more than enough. And even in my initial days, I practiced on that only. And in all my previous batches, I was helping people like that only. And many of them, I can say at least 80% of them got placed in US itself for all the US candidates. I'm just taking an example. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So next, let me take, yeah, I mean, please be patient and please bear with me today, because I will be, I mean, you will not get much content today because I will be going through the introductions, and I want to, anyway, from tomorrow onwards, you will get all the commands and you will get into the deeper insights of all of them. Okay. So first day, I want to get, at least remember everyone and recognize each one of your voice, so that I don't need to look at these names and talk to you again and again. Okay. So next, Harika, just give me 2-line introductions. Where are you from and what is your background? And currently, what are you working on, kind of stuff?
So hi Shiva, my name is Harika. I have 3 years experience. I used to work on Selenium automation before, and then I moved as a Java developer. So I wanted to learn about Hadoop, and I was going across some material online, and I came across your website, and yeah, that is how I ended up here.
Okay, that's great. I mean, you did a lot of jumpings. Then Selenium automation testing.
Yeah,
that's a big change. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, great. You are from?
I'm from Hyderabad.
You're from Hyderabad. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Then we can talk sometime later. Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
You can give me a call on my mobile. Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
Hi, Hasita.
Hi. So basically, I've completed my master's here in US, and I'm in job search. And I'm planning to pursue my career in Hadoop. I've done a project on MapReduce and Pig in my master's, so that's how I'm interested in Hadoop. And while going through some blogs, I came across yours just like Harika, and that's how I ended up here.
Okay, yeah. So many people, I mean, here from that blog only. I don't do any kind of other advertisements. Yeah, I almost took like 1.5 years to publish all those articles in that blog. From last 1 year or so, I become a little inactive in that because of I mean, too much of project engagements and all those things. Even from last 3 months, I didn't took any trainings. So after 3 months, this is the first batch I'm taking in this year. This is the second batch. I was I mean, a little engaged with the client projects, and I was a little bit busy. Okay.
That's really good information on the blog. Like it's really helpful for the people who are starting up and getting to know the things.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Because I started that writing that blog in my initial Hadoop learning days. Even I am not from the Java background, or I am not from the. I am from a mainframes background, where in my initial days everything was new for me. Even the terminals, connecting to a terminal was new. Linux was new. All those things. But I was from computer science background, so I was able to repeat almost like 3.5-4 years back. Okay, yeah. So let me move on to Hemant. Hemant,
Yeah, hi Shiva.
you didn't join through your laptop. Can't you see? I mean, you'll not be able to see the screens, right?
No, I can see the screen.
I see only the audio connected. Did
No.
you join from your laptop separately?
No, I joined from my desktop, so
Okay, okay.
I can actually see your screen. Everything's fine.
Okay, okay. Then no issues. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, just introduce yourself to the team. That's enough. I mean, I know much about you.
Yeah, guys, I'm from here. I'm a Canadian. Just recently moved to Houston, and I worked a long time back as a SAP basis admin, and that was about it for a couple of years. And I've not been into IT for like almost 8 years now. I'm trying to get back into IT, and I see that Hadoop is the in thing right now. So I thought I'll do this. So as far as programming language, scripting, anything, those kind of things, I got zero knowledge. So that's about it. But yeah, I'm hoping to learn all of that over here though.
Yeah, no problem, Hemant. That's why, I mean, I'm starting the basic skills as well. The Linux commands and core Java basics and the SQL commands, all the prerequisites needed for the Hadoop developer as well. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Next, Murali. Murali Kailas. Murali, can you hear me?
Hi, Shiva.
Yeah, hi, Murali. Yeah.
Hi, this is Murali. My background, like currently I'm working on code, Java and supported frameworks. I have 3+6 experience. Currently I'm working as a on-site developer at Muscat. That's it.
Okay, that's great. Then if you are already much experienced into Java, it's very easy for you to get into this. Okay. Narendra. Narendra, can you hear me? Okay, I think some audio issue with him. Yeah, let me move. Hi, Funny.
Hi, Shiva. This is Funny. Yeah. So I'm from LA. I've been working for close to 10 years in data warehousing. I work for a couple of clients here. So right now, our company, we are implementing Cloudera. So we have procured for Cloudera, and we're trying to implement some of the.
Okay, yeah, that's enough. Thanks, Funny. Soumya, I know about you. Just introduce yourself to the team. That's enough.
Hi everyone, this is Soumya. I'm a fresher. I'm having a 1+ years of experience in Java background.
Yeah, you're not a fresher anymore, Soumya.
Okay.
You're already writing a lot of Java code, and yeah, you're not a fresher anymore. Okay. No
Shiva, I have a doubt that how much this course, how many months it will take?
It will be for 6 weeks minimum, Soumya. Yeah, yeah. We need to spend at least 60 hours, so almost like 1.5 months it takes. I can wrap it up. I mean, other courses like If I need to wrap it up in 30 hours or 4 weeks or something, then you will not get actual depth of this, and again you will blame me later.
Okay. If I miss a class in a week or in a day, how can I get to that?
You will get the video recording on that day in another 4 hours. So for now, example, if you miss the today's class, in another class will end at 9 o'clock. Maybe by 11 or 12, you will get to upload it to Google Drive, and you will be given read access to the Google Drive, and from there you can either download or you can watch it there.
And you are showing some PPT presentation, na?
Yes, that material. Yep, that materials also you will get in the form of PDFs.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Thanks. Hey, hi Narendra. That's fine. Yeah, I think you have some audio issues, might be. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you can give me a call sometime later. And hi Rakesh.
Hi Shiva.
Yeah.
Basically, hi everyone. I have completed my engineering, and I have moved into MIS, basically Management Information Systems, wherein I mainly work with HTML5, Advanced Excel, and PPT, VB. So I'm more into this, and Hadoop is something new for me, and I would like to touch base with Hadoop and with these classes, and like to come into the IT field.
Yeah, sure, Rakesh. Yeah, we'll definitely help you on that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, Srinivas. How is your task going on? Hello, Srinivas, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, I'm able to hear you, Srinivas. You again muted yourself.
Yeah, everyone is here, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Your voice is a bit low, but that's fine. I think we can manage.
Yeah. Hi, good evening and good morning, everyone. And this is Srinivas from Bangalore. And I have experience in data warehousing, and actually I'm also new to big data, and I have to learn so many new things. Okay, that's why I joined here. I want to improve my knowledge. Okay.
Yeah, sure, Srinivas. Yeah, we'll definitely help on that. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Hi, Vishnu.
Hi, Shiva. Hi, all. My name is Vishnu, and I'm from Bangalore, and I'm a fresher. I'm looking to pursue a career in Hadoop big data.
Okay. So do you have basic Java knowledge, Vishnu?
Yeah, sure. I have.
Okay.
I already did a course from Satyam to just have a.
Okay. Yeah, then that's great. Okay. So yeah, I think that's it from your end. Let me introduce myself. So I have almost like 8 years of IT experience, out of which 4 years into Hadoop and all its big ecosystem tools. And my strong areas are like, so almost all these Hadoop ecosystem tools and Spark and Scala. Yeah, I'm not a PHP, I'm not a Python developer. Sometimes people do ask me the Python connectivity with the Hadoop as well. So that's why I'm giving ahead itself. I can help you out in finding the proper documentation for that Python connectivity with Hadoop. But most of the times, in 90% of the times, 95% of the times, you will find Java as the connectivity language with the Hadoop. Okay. And for Spark, so it will be mostly the Scala only. And I also have, exploring the new upcoming tools in the Hadoop ecosystem tools, like not just these tools listed here, and Kafka, Kafka, and other any upcoming tools and trending tools in the industry. Just exploring them is my passion, and especially documenting them and making people understanding my documentation is one of the very interesting things for me. But unfortunately, I'm not getting much time these days, which I'm not at all liking. Yeah, but expressing things whatever I know, because I'm an open source guy. Whatever I know, I try to make it open source. Okay, so that's how I ended up in writing that blog and making that all those articles available for everyone for free. You don't need to register anything, and you don't need to do anything for that. I mean, to be frank, so most of the concepts you will be, I mean, they will be available on the blog itself. Okay. So almost all the topics. But if you read by article, it may take some time. So that's why I recommend you to attend the sessions. Otherwise, you will find all the concepts, almost all, I can say at least 70% of them will be available in the blog. But it will take a long time to read through and just understand all those things.
Shiva, sorry for interruption. This right click is not, suppose if we want to open a new window.
Okay, so right click, that I disable it for two purposes. One is for copy protection. So I do see some other.
I know. Actually, is it possible to give our your students like only access for your students? Is it possible to give like that?
Yes. There is a way to do that. I will explain. I mean, I will show you that in another couple more days. Okay.
Okay. One more thing, Shiva. First, I have mentioned how to know whether the class is recording or not. Can you please?
Yeah. Yes. I think I already told this. Left side. Yeah. On left side top corner of your laptop, you will find one
red bar
and the red dot blinking there.
Okay.
So that means your session is getting recorded. And once after the session completes, it takes another 15 to 20 minutes to get that converted into the playable media file. Then I will upload that into Google Drive. Given me another 1 hour or 2 hours time.
One more small doubt. Actually, after you upload into Google Drive, can we receive any alert message?
For the first time only, you will get a email notification from the Google Drive. From second day onwards, you will not get any alerts.
Okay. No issue.
Maybe after the session completes, in another 3-4 hours, you can check in that Google Drive. If not, you can just ping me in WhatsApp or email me so that I did get this video and I need it immediately.
Okay.
Maybe in another 5-10 minutes, I will try to upload. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So so that's it from my introduction part as well. So any questions related to the course contents and the course duration and the course timings and all those things? Any concerns or anything you need extra, or you feel like so how it wants to go with? Any suggestions, any complaint, not complaints? Yeah.
This is Neetu again. I have one question. Like, since I'm trying to shift to this Hadoop field, so these real-time projects, which you mentioned, we will be given 3 real-time projects. Will this help me to explain the scenarios in interviews so that I can say that I have worked on these projects to find the job?
Yep. So I sorry to say this. I forgot to say this real-time projects in this list. I will definitely explain minimum of 3 to 4 real-time projects. When I say real-time, they are in production live. Okay. So with all the real-time use cases, at least for a couple of them, I will try to give you sample data sets, at least for a couple of them, sample data sets and the core logic that was implemented. Good. Core logic implemented and the integrations of end-to-end flow. Okay, and I will help you to for preparation of your resumes as also with all these project descriptions, and I will explain those projects end to end. Okay, so here you may see a lot of tools here, and you need to do a lot of patchwork to integrate them, tie them up. A lot of stitches are needed to tie them each of those tools. Those stitches also I will be showing you.
Okay, sounds great.
Yep.
Shiva, I have a question. Funny here.
Yeah, funny.
Hey, so end of this course, what exactly are we going to expect? Are we going to have hands-on? If of course when we do our practice, so are we going to be we'll be able to code everything in all of the using all of these different tools, or so what is the expectation that?
So most of the times from the previous batches I observed, I felt people bit lacking in MapReduce portion. Apart from that, I can guarantee that you will be confident enough to write in any other tool like Pig, Hive, Impala, HBase, Scoop, Flume, Uzi, Hue, all these things. You will be pretty much confident enough to do the basic developer, at least a 1 year experienced or 2 years experience, 1.5 year experienced developer, how much he can write. So that much you will be confident enough to write. At least 1 year experienced guy, how much ever he can write in the Hadoop, that much you can write, except the MapReduce. This is all depends on how strong you are currently into Java programming.
Java, okay, okay.
To be frank, I don't want to cheat like the expert in all the areas.
Of course.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good to know. Okay.
Okay.
Shiva,
and this
one
is
more
not
question.
again to scare you that this is complex or something. This is the fact that I observed. That's it. Okay.
Yeah, you're making expectations set.
Yep.
Right.
Hi, Shiva. This is Asita.
Yeah, Asita.
Like there are different file formats that are right now going being used in industries like Avro and sequence files.
Yep.
So would you be covering those too?
Yep. All those, obviously. Without that, so even I mean, I don't recommend them. I don't make them complex in MapReduce, but I will cover them in Hive and Pig and Impala, these things. Okay. The file formats are common for all the two. All those file formats and compression techniques and best standards and optimization techniques for each of these tools. Optimization techniques for MapReduce, optimization techniques for Pig, optimization techniques for Hive, optimization techniques for Impala. This you will never, I'm damn sure that you will never get these things anywhere. And at least minimum of 2 to 3 years of experience candidates only will know that optimization techniques and best standards.
Hi, Shiva.
Yeah.
Shiva, this is Murli.
Yeah, Murli.
Oh, can we have like a cluster setups or anything will be there here? I mean, like, can we learn?
Cluster setup, you will get a pseudo cluster setup in your machines. For that, I will be helping you. Okay.
Okay.
Practicing in that pseudo cluster will be enough for you.
And one more thing, like in real time, I don't know about Hadoop and anything. Suppose in real time we are working in some cloud, like Cloudera, something like that. Can we have something tool like that? So that
Cloudera, you are going to practice in Cloudera Quick Start VMs only. Okay. So Cloudera pseudo cluster only. And again, I will be showing you the real-time Cloudera cluster and what are the migration steps that are needed.
Okay.
That 5% differences will be there, right? From your pseudo cluster to real-time cluster. Those 5% changes I will be explaining you with the help of real-time cluster itself. I will show you the real-time clusters. No worries.
Okay.
Okay. So most of the times you may see the dummy clusters, three node or 4 node clusters with dummy configurations like 8 GB RAMs, all that stuff. Instead of that, I will be showing you that big gigantic machines connected together. Show in the sense not the physical view, the connected. Okay, so you will be I will connect to them. I will show you all the components and how many different machines are there, what are their configurations, how much they are utilized, how much they are free, and how much how the resource allocation will be like. All those things I will be covering.
And one more thing, in this course, can we? You are going to tell like what is the admin part and how we can configuration into the admin and everything.
Admin part is not my 100% focus. Even though I cover at least 50% of the admin skills that are needed for admins, my main focus is for developers, because I mean, in most of the places you will find it as like 3 courses. One is Hadoop administration course, and another one is Hadoop developer course, and the other one is Hadoop architects course. So I'm not dividing these as different courses. I'm combining them. At least you will get 50% of the admin skills and almost 90% of the developer skills, the basic developer skills, and at least 50% of the architect, the design point of view also. So when to go with which tool and how will you decide the tools, and based on your scenarios, all those things, the architecture point of view also, will get at least 50% of the knowledge that is needed. Okay. So that's how we will end up with minimum 1.5 months or 60 hours, minimum 60 hours of course for this. Okay. So if you guys want to wrap it up quickly, and if you all are on same page, I can even set up some extra classes on weekends, and I try to spend extra time, I mean, beyond 60 hours, and try to complete within the 6 weeks itself. Because extending beyond 6 weeks, you yourself complain that the course is getting extended and it's getting prolonged, and I mean, you may feel bored, like if it goes beyond 6 weeks. Course total duration will be, I mean, within 6 weeks, but the amount of hours may exceed based on your interest and your commitment towards the weekend classes, if you're really interested. Otherwise, I will try to cover as much as I can within that 60 hours.
Siva, before that, Hasita here. Akila asked you a few questions about certification in the chat window. Like regarding
sorry, I didn't check that. Okay. So at was point of time can we start for certification? Will you provide us any info on certifications? So till last year, the certification exam was based on the questions and the written exam. And most of those questions were also documented in our blog. So people were easily getting certified till last year. So from this January onwards, from Cloudera and even from Hortonworks, the certification pattern got changed. It's more of like a lab exam where you will be given with some use case in the sense they will give you some dummy data set, and they will ask you to write some pig scripts around that and MapReduce program around that, and store those results into Hive and do some kind of reporting on top of that. At least they will give you a scenario which needs the integration of 2 or 3 tools, and based on that data set, you should decide those tools and start integrating them. So it's more of like a lab exam. And at what point you need to start for certification? It is obviously after the completion of your course and a minimum practice of 1 month. I mean, that depends on how quick learner you are. If you are really a very quick learner, and immediately after 15 days of your course completion, if you are confident enough that you can take up some dummy data sets and covering 2 to 3 tools and use cases kind of stuff, you're good enough to attempt that.
Can you say us like how it is going to be, like what questions and how we need to
I can
analyze and
give you
write the exam?
I can give you some scenarios that happen, but the recent pattern, even I didn't attempt it because this got changed from January only. But I got information from a couple of candidates that attempted those attempted certification after my Feb batch. In February, I took one batch. After that, couple of candidates attempted the certification. They gave me the use cases. So those use cases I will try to help you in explaining. Okay. So how will those will be like? Okay.
Okay, Shiva. Thank you.
Yeah, the cost of certification, yes, it is around that only, 18K, and almost like $300 or something in US dollars. So that will be cost.
Okay, thank you, Shiva.
Yep. Okay. And in case if you guys initially if you put up some experience and if you get into your jobs and if you need any job support and your job interview preparation support, and once you get job resume preparation support, and once you get into your jobs, and if you really need a technical support, even in that also I will be supporting you. Okay, but of course that is separately charged job support. But until job support, once you get placed into the job, that is a different charge. Until then, I will be supporting you in all the areas. Okay, so just for registering the course is enough. You'll get all those things. Okay, so you'll get the material, you'll get the videos, training videos, you will get the job interview support. Like some case, like I will highlight what are the areas that you need to focus for your interviews. And maybe once after going through 3-4 interviews, if you still feel like you are missing these areas and you are lagging there, maybe I can set up some session with you and I will help you there so that you need, I can fill those gaps.
Siva, Hasita here. I have a question. Like, would you be able to take any mock interviews after we are done with the course?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I'm ready to do that, and I also did this in past as well.
Oh, that's great.
Yep. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So, any more questions? Any questions? So Hadoop training support. Okay. So on the first day itself, I'm giving you here. Maybe, I mean, if I didn't find much time, if I'm skipping some things, or I'm assuming that you might be able to pick up these things once you are onto track. Some places, if I skip something like basic commands, under assumption that once you already know all these things, you might be able to easily pick up these things, but you are not able to do that. And if you feel like you need my guidance on that, you can feel free at any point of time, and you can highlight that we need these things also part of sessions. I'm always open to that. Okay. So Hadoop training support, interview support as well, and resume support, and certification areas and use cases, and POCs. You will get at least couple of POCs I will give you, and real-time projects explanations, and real-time cluster viewing, at least you will see all those clusters and the components, all those things. Okay.
Hey Shiva, what's the difference between data engineer and Hadoop developer? Like I saw some requirements a couple of weeks
In my
back.
point of view, they both are same.
Okay, like
Data engineer.
at the end of the course, what all the jobs can we apply for? Like how will the companies asking for?
Okay. If you are like overall IT experience is around less than 4 years or 5 to 6 years, I would recommend you to go for big data. I mean, if you are below 3 to 4 years experience, I would suggest you to go for big data engineer or big data developer. These things you know based on different recruitment. They name it differently. That's it. But in my opinion, they all are same. Big data developer, big data engineer, or data engineer. They all are same. Okay. And if you are having overall IT experience around like 5 to 6 or 7 years, then I can recommend you to go for senior big data engineer. And if you are around 7+ or so, you can apply for big data architect, or some guys call it as a Hadoop architect. Here again, it's the same. Okay, so data engineer, Hadoop developer is also same. So here you will see the senior Hadoop developer roles as well, and Hadoop architect, or some places you will see the solution architect, big data solution architect, or Hadoop solution architect, something like that. And yeah, based on your Hadoop administration skills, that depends on you apply, whether you apply for a Hadoop admin role or not. Okay, that will be Hadoop administrator only, not big data administrator. Yeah, these are the roles that you can apply for.
Okay, thank you, Shiva.
And if you are from testing background, yeah, Hadoop tester, like a big data, QA, big data quality analyst, something like that, based on your roles. Okay. If you are from admin, Hadoop admin, and senior Hadoop administrator, some kind of. And they will specifically ask you for Cloudera or Hortonworks, all those things. Okay. So any more general questions? Otherwise, I will start with the topics.
Shiva, one small thought. Actually, for this setup, right? What is the system requirements?
Yeah, system requirement I need from your end is minimum 8 GB RAM laptop with you. So 12 GB or minimum is 8 GB. 8 GB RAM laptops are needed. If you have 12 GB or 16 GB, that is even too good. And remaining things for setup, I will be explaining you all those setups. You don't need to experiment, reinvent the wheel. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. Okay. Any other questions or expectations? Okay, so let me get started then. So every day, in everyday recording, once again, you will get day-wise ordered files. So in this day one folder, for suppose today day one, the first day, And day one, you will get one notes file, whatever I started typing into the notepad, and one PDF file that contains the contents of this PPT, and one video recording of today's session. All these three minimum of these three files will be there, and I will be zipping this and uploading into Google Drive, and will be given read access to that. Okay. And one more request from your end, from my end to you, is please drop me your Gmail IDs, because if you drop me Gmail IDs instead of Yahoo or your company mail IDs, you will get everyday Google Calendar notifications before the sessions. 30 minutes before you will get an alert, and 10 minutes before again you will get another alert that you have a course session starting, and you will be easily able to access the Google Drive files. Okay, so minimum how many years we can show on big data skill as per current market? Current market, at least you need to put 1 year or 1.5 years. Otherwise, your resume will not get picked up. And there are minimum keywords that you need to use in your resumes, and yeah, that in all those things I will definitely help you. So we'll shoot the class in the mornings for the weekends. I will talk to you on this, Anand, shifting the class timings to mornings. Most of the times, not most of the times, I always prefer this timing, my early morning timings. That's the only time I have, I find some free space. Yeah, but I will talk to you on that, okay, offline. And I have another question. Yeah, Anand.
Shiva, Hasita here.
Yes.
What is the best way and time to contact you if we have any questions regarding the course or any particular thing?
Most of the times I recommend you to add me into WhatsApp. Okay. And one more thing, I need support now. What I was asking just a couple of minutes back, just ping me all your Gmail IDs in this chat box, so that I can find all your Gmail IDs in one place, and along with your WhatsApp phone numbers, just your name, comma, your Gmail ID, comma, your WhatsApp mobile number, so that I will create one WhatsApp group saying that Hadoop June 2016 batch or something like that. And you can post all your queries into that WhatsApp group at any point of time. And if it is something really urgent or something, then you can call me during my either my morning times or in the afternoon timings, but not my evening timings. Evening timings in the sense, starting from my 5 o'clock to 9 or 9:30 sometimes, I will be having most of the times client calls and Scrum meetings and all these agile process calls. So my evening timings, starting from my 5 o'clock till 9:30 or 10, I will be having Scrum calls and this agile related calls. Okay, so just your name, email ID. Anyway, name I will get from that chat. It's this June chat itself. Yeah, your Gmail ID and your WhatsApp number. I mean, whichever number you are active on WhatsApp, that number. Okay, so that I can easily contact you at any point of time. So I would recommend to either drop me an email or ping me in WhatsApp. And if it is really something bothering, something like I missed uploading one video file for that day, and you want to go through it at any cost before attending the next day session, that time you can give me a call as well. If I don't respond to your WhatsApp chat. Okay. Yep. Okay. Yep. Thank you. You can keep sending me in this chat box. Okay. If you don't want to share it with others, I don't mind even if you. I would recommend to share it with everyone. But if you don't want to do that, you can privately chat, send me as well in the chat. Okay. Just click on my name in the chat box on left side panel, and on send to. If you send the message, that will be sent to myself, not to others. That will be a private message. Okay. Yeah. I hope everything all set for getting started, right? Unless until you have any more questions. Okay. Yeah, as I was telling you today, I mean, you will not get much content. So from tomorrow onwards, you will get much in-depth details. And these Hadoop classes will be from Monday to Thursday, Indian days. Like for US guys, it will be from your Sunday night to Wednesday night. Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, and Wednesday night. 4 days a week. Okay, so 2 hours per day. And for Indians, it will be from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Every day morning, early morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., 2 hours. And every day you will not get a separate link. It's the same Zoom ID. And one more suggestion that I will give: save this Zoom ID and install your Zoom application. So just give your just either keep that link somewhere in your notepad, just open that in your browser. That is also fine. If once you open that, it will install a Zoom application. And from next time onwards, you can give that just the Zoom ID and log in into that meeting. That's enough. Okay. Okay, and let me get started. So agenda introductions are completed. And what is big data Hadoop history? At least the Hadoop cluster, at least up to Hadoop cluster, I will try to complete. And remaining things we'll try to cover in tomorrow's class. Okay. So this introductions, basic introductions, I already completed. So what is big data and all those things? I will not go much in detail about all these things. In my earlier days of trainings, I was focusing all these things, but nowadays everybody knows the basic stuff. Okay, what is big data kind of stuff? Okay. Just for the sake of, since these slides are there, and just to, there might be few people, 1 or 2 people, just for them, I will be quickly just giving basic brief idea on this thing. That's it. Okay. So big data, the name itself conveys that the data something that is which is very huge in size. Okay, something that which cannot be easily processed by the traditional processing tools, the RDBMS tools like Oracle, Teradata, Netezza, your Postgres, MySQL, or any other processing engines. It's not that easy to process by the traditional tools. Something that is which is very huge in size is called as big data. Okay, and most of the times you will measure the big data in GBs, how many GBs of data you have, and how many terabytes of data you have. Most of the times you will see your data being measured in terms of gigabytes, in terms of terabytes. In most of the enterprise organizations, petabytes you will not see unless until you are working in a fancy companies like Facebook, Yahoo, Google, or something. Okay. Otherwise, in any other regular and normal enterprise organizations, you will see your, even if it is big data, you will see them in terms of terabytes only. Okay. And why is it so big? All these things, I mean, blah blah. You might have come across all these figures and all those things in many places. But again, just to reiterate, so IDC, International Data Center, which is this company is responsible for collecting the metrics on data growth and how the data is growing, from which industries and from which area the data growing and what rate it is growing. All those things, this IDC collects those measures as per its collections. Every day we are creating around 2.5 exabytes of data across the globe, and almost out of complete total data, so 90% of the data is just created in the last 2 years. Okay, and currently we have around, as of 2013, we had 4.4 zettabytes of information. By now it might got, for every year it's getting, for every 2 years it's getting doubled. Almost like that means for by 2015 itself, it might be reaching almost like 10 zettabytes right now. Okay, so these are some figures. You can go through them. What is the average growth rate of all these things? Okay, I'm not much interested in these things. Yeah, so this is some buzzwords sometimes you hear. So big data characteristics. You can represent big data characteristics in 3 ways, mainly 3 ways. One is volume. So how big is your data? So whether it is in megabytes or in gigabytes or in terabytes or petabytes. Okay. And velocity. So how fast is your data is getting produced into your organization? Okay. So that tells us the velocity of your big data. And third one is the variety. What are the various types of files? What are the various types of data that you are handling? Okay, so there are 2 more optional V's sometimes people talk about. The fourth one is veracity. How meaningful or how accurate your data is. Is it just some dummy data which cannot be reliable, or is it some true data that you after processing, whether you can rely on that data or not? And the fifth V is also more or less related to the same. How much business value you will get after extracting the big data. Okay, so most of the times you will see these 3 V's: volume, velocity, and variety. Okay, and again in the variety, so what are the different types of variety of data that you will see? in the industry. So first one is the structured data, which is the oldest format and which is very easily handled by all our existing traditional tools. Yes, this is tabular format. I mean, storing data into columns and rows in tables in relational databases and applying SQLs to fetch that data. And semi-structured data sets, which are not that easily structured, but after applying some transformations, you can make them into structure. Examples like JSON files, where you will represent your data in the form of key value pairs, right? And XML files, where you will represent your data in the form of tags. And log files, where you will see some space delimiters and messages, all those things. So some places, if your log, there is a controversy that sometimes log files will be considered under semi-structured if they are easily parsable. In some places, people consider these log files as a completely unstructured, the third category. Okay, and the third category, one more, this completely unstructured, where they are not that easy to parse and make them into structure. When I say structure, making them into columns and rows, which is not that easily possible. Some examples like audio files, video files, and photos and free-form text, something that you have written into notepads, whatever I was writing into notes files, right? So unless until you are into fancy companies like, I mean, some bigger organizations like Facebook, Yahoo, and Google, in most of the enterprise organizations, you will not see these things. Okay, processing videos, files, and photos and audios. But other than these, anyways, even processing them, so most of them, they convert that into binary files, and from there onwards, they start processing that. There are still some improvements required in this area, but as of today, our Hadoop tools and big data tools support all the structured and semi-structured and most of the unstructured data sets as well. Yeah, complexity will be high processing the other things, but keeping them aside, most of the enterprise organizations, you will see the semi-structured data sets. You will be getting your data either in XML files, JSON files, log files, or tweet messages, or some other delimited files. Okay, so most of the times you will see in this area, most of your incoming data, your source data in this area, and you will apply some kind of transformations, and you will bring that data into structured formats. So you can see this as like a ETL process. So this is your source from where you extract your data, and you apply some kind of transformations that could be either through MapReduce or through Pig or through Hive or through Impala, whatever it could be. Okay, so you'll apply some transformations and bring them into some structured format, load them into your target tables. That is the just general flow that happens, so most of the times. Okay, and you will get examples for all these varieties: XML, JSONs, logs, and feed messages, and all the tables, and as well, and the basic kind of reports and the log messages as well. I will show you. I will give you all those examples, including the tweets messages as well. Okay. So now in big data, so you will call it as a big data when it is very huge in size. Okay, so not easy to process by the existing tools, and the rate of data generation is very high, the velocity is high, and so variety of data types. It's not just the tables. You are not just having the tables. You're also getting some text files. You're also getting some delimited files. You're also getting some JSON files. You're also getting from XML files. All the different types of files you are receiving. But if you want to store them into some Netezza box or Oracle box, it's not that easy, right? Either you should store them in blobs or something, but again, you need some kind of transformations there. But in Hadoop, you can dump any file format into your Hadoop. That's why most of the places we call them Hadoop clusters as data lakes. You can dump any file format, into your Hadoop. Okay. So one of the challenges with the big data, with the existing traditional tools, was the complex and variety data types. If they support tables, they can't support the .xml file storing them as is, or .json file storing them as is, or other file formats storing them as is. That is one challenge. And the processing those complex data types and accessing them and updating them, reading them, those files back, is another challenge. And transferring one machine to another machine is another challenge. Okay, so there are many challenges with the existing traditional systems to handle big data. So that's where we got a requirement. I mean, we had to go for a new technology, and that is where the Hadoop founder, Doug Cutting, think of the distributed processing mechanism through the Hadoop tools, Hadoop framework, and what are its characteristics and all. We'll see in the next slides. Okay, so how is it going to solve all these challenges? But most of the times, so what is the purpose of storing your data? And what are the steps? What are the phases that will be involved in your data? In any organization, if there is a data, what needs to be done with that? So first, what are the phases that will be involved there? First, you will be collecting the data, and you will be storing somewhere in your backend technologies, DBs, databases. You will then, once you store that raw data as it is, you will organize that. Let's say if you are receiving the data for 4 or 5 departments in 1-2 files itself, then in the second step, you will organize that into different departments. And once you organize that into different departments or different categories, then you will summarize that data. So for each department, so how much is the cost, and how much is the investment, and how much is the profits? This kind of summarization. You will do this kind of summarization, aggregation stuff for each department. And then once you get the summary results, you will analyze it. So which one is performing best and which one is performing worst? Something like if you take a retail domain, and if you categorize the data for product wise, and once you summarize the results, you can analyze easily that. You can analyze that which products are performing better and which products are not performing, and which markets are performing better and which markets are not. And once you get into that results, you will then synthesize it and take a decisions out of that. Which are not performing well, what can be done to do these things? These are the phases that you will see in any data processing. So these are needed in real time, which database is mostly used to store the collected data. In traditional RDBMSs, you will see mostly either most of the industry's data is present in Oracle, the top highly utilized one, and some places you see Netija, IBM Netija distributed databases, and Teradata, also one of the highly used, SQL Server, MS SQL Server, Microsoft SQL servers, and Postgres. In some places you will see in DB2 for mainframes databases, and MySQL. So these are the traditional databases. But coming to Hadoop, you can store all of these things into whatever the data that is present in any of these areas. You can store them into Hadoop. Okay, inside Hadoop, where and how, all those things we'll slowly cover one by one. Okay, so this is for your question, Narendra.
Sure. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So traditionally, normally, so what are the main use cases that you have been in your experience, at least what you have looked so far? What is the main use case that they use for Hadoop?
Okay.
Mostly for reporting, or what exactly do they use it for?
Both for OLAP and OLTP. Almost like 1 year or 1.5 years back, Hadoop was mainly for batch processing. So the OLAP use cases, reporting purposes, it was mainly being used. But now, these days, with the help of Impala and HBase, all these things, Hadoop is now able to perform all the OLTP features as well. Okay, and even the transactional support and the reporting support, and on top of this, if you need the visualization charts and dashboards, all those things, you can connect the reporting tools and visualization tools, reporting or visualization tools. You can connect to the Hadoop, and then you can build all those dashboards and all. So coming to the real-time use cases, it's pretty same as your any regular enterprise data processing. Something like you will have some source data coming from different places. It could be from stores, it could be from markets, it could be from manufacturers, if it is retail domain. If it is banking domain, you will be getting data from your banking. You will have some screens and where a new customer is received, and you will add one entry to the customer tables and customer's file or whatever. So you'll be having some front-end screens where your source input will be fed, and from there the data goes into front-end screens. So source data collections can be front-end screens or manual data collection. So manually collecting from the policyholders, if it is insurance domain or something. From there to back-end database tables. Right? Back-end databases. From there, again, some kind of ETLs. ETL tools and transforming them again, loading them into backend DBs. Then writing some services, displaying them on screens. This is a typical flow. If it is end user, end-to-end, if it is needed real-time access for users, this is for business end user. Okay, business end user and OLTP support or OLTP cycle. Okay. If it is for OLAP, here instead of services, we'll be writing some reporting queries, and you will be sending either reports or visualization charts. So this is the basic life cycle that you will find in any data processor, in any of the enterprise organization. It could be either banking domain or retail domain or insurance domain or some file management, some file systems or hardware devices management systems. It could be any system. You will be collecting some data, storing them in the backend databases, and transforming them into your structured format and aggregating them either you will display some of the basic information to the end user through screens, where you will provide both the read and write, update access or create access as well. So that is one way of exposing your data to the end user, which is the latest snapshot. Or you take a history of 6 months of data or 1 year of data and prepare reports, how the market is going, how the products are performing, how the policies or policy products are performing, how the banking, the customers are going, how the loans are performing. So you will take a reports, and if those reports, if you want to highlight them with some fancy charts, you will go with some visualization tools, Tableau, ClickView kind of stuff. Or if you want to just go for a reporting purpose, you will connect with MicroStrategy kind of tools like MicroStrategy, and ClickView also is a reporting tool. And for visualization, if you want, people go with sometimes with Tableau and Zoom data, and there are many tools around that are there, and Splunk or Hunk. Okay. So this is the typical flow that will be involved in any data process.
Hey, Shiva, I have another question.
Yes. Is it funny?
Yes, sure. This is funny here.
Yeah.
So very.
Your voice is getting low.
Sorry, am I audible now?
Yes. No.
Okay, so where exactly are these? Does the NoSQL databases come into picture, like MongoDB or Couchbase or other NoSQL databases? So
exactly. The database place.
NoSQL databases.
Yes, in the databases place. In database place, it could be either SQL database based on your use cases. If you want to store the documents as is and all those things, it could be your NoSQL database. Inside our Hadoop, out of these, HBase is a NoSQL database. Okay. And inside NoSQL databases, there are varieties of NoSQL databases, like key value pair NoSQL databases, columnar NoSQL databases, and this graph-based NoSQL databases. Graph-based means, and document-based NoSQL databases. So some examples are like, for example, columnar, HBase and Cassandra, or for columnar, and graph-based means Neo4j, and document based is MongoDB. So these types. Okay. So most of the times you will see these terms, HBase and Cassandra, in some places MongoDB. But if you are aware of HBase, it's pretty similar. You can confidently apply for Cassandra as well. And MongoDB is also one simple tool only, but I'm not covering this in this training course. But this is pretty simple, but only if any one of you are interested, I can provide you the documentation on that. So basic documents, how to get started, and all those stuff.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So, yep. So now, how is Hadoop going to solve? So before discuss how it is going to solve, just first let's know what is this Hadoop and what it means and what are its characteristics. Okay. So if you are aware of the open source framework, Apache is one of the biggest open source community, I can say. Okay. So under Apache, you can see a lot of open source tools coming over years and years. Okay. So even Java, all Java related frameworks and all of them will come from Apache, right? So since Hadoop is also written in Java language, Java programming language, it was made to open source so that it will be available for everyone and the source code can be accessible for everyone. So Hadoop is an open source framework and especially designed for processing the large size data sets. When I say large size data sets, if you have 100 MB files and 200 MB files and 1 GB files and 20 GB files, 100 GB files, 200 GB files, and terabytes of files. So it is designed to process large size files, but not the small size files. Small size files like 1 MB file, 2 MB file, 3 MB file, 10 MB file.
So what is the minimum size we need to have for a, will you call, what is the minimum size for a file?
Okay. There is no mandatory rule that you should have this much size. It will process your small files also. Okay, but its main intention is for processing the large files. If you have the small files and you are not having any other option of other than storing that in small file, yes, Hadoop will accept it and Hadoop will store it and Hadoop can process that small file also. But performance, coming to the performance, if you process some 1,000 small files, let's say there are 1,001 MB files, means which is 1,000 MB, right? Which is close to 1 GB. And there is only one single 1 GB file. If you ask me which one will get processed faster, that 1 GB file will get faster than 1,001 MB files altogether. Okay, so Hadoop is able to process that even 1,001 MB files, but it will be little slower. Why and how, all those things I will cover both in HDFS concepts as well as HDFS once after I enter into the HDFS architecture and its concepts. Then I will cover. And even in the MapReduce sessions, there is one more reason why it is not best suitable for small files. And if you are really having if you are receiving small files every day, how to overcome that problem, I will explain that scenario as well. I will explain you that. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yes, sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
So now, when I say large files, in the sense, if I take an example of 1 GB file. Okay. So if I have 1 GB file, if I store that all 1 GB file in my Windows machine itself, and if I open that 1 GB file in the notepad or something, it will definitely get hung up. It will not open that, right? So in Hadoop, so they store that data into multiple machines. And while reading that data, all the multiple machines will parallelly start reading those parts. For example, Hadoop framework is written on the concepts of distributed processing. Okay. Is written on distributed processing. So I will just explain you the characteristics here, and I will justify these characteristics with the help of architecture. Okay. So first here I will just list down those characteristics. I'm not completely explaining this. You may have questions around this, but first let me list down the characteristics. Then I will justify those characteristics with the help of architecture. Okay. So maybe I might not be able to cover the complete architecture today. So tomorrow we'll finish it up. So first thing is, once you get the data, whenever you upload data into your Hadoop, so that data will be distributed across multiple machines. So in Hadoop, you always hear one more buzzword, cluster. Cluster means it's a network of some machines, a connected network of a group of machines. Group of machines connected together with some network cables, where one machine can access the data present on the other machine as well. Okay, so one machine can access the data present on the other machine as well through that network cables, network channels, IO channels, input-output channels. It can also read the data that is present on its own machine, and also if it has to read from the other machine, it can read through the network channel, IO channels. Okay, so there is a lot of complexity in that. It takes some time, at least a couple of sessions, 2 to 3 sessions to digest all these distributed processing techniques. Okay, so don't get confused or don't feel it as complex. I will try to go slow as much as possible, even though other guys may feel it bored for the initial few sessions. That's fine. Initially, I will start with slow pace, and once you are onto track, then I can increase the speed. Okay, I can increase the pace of sessions. Okay, until then, please bear with me if you already know the basics. Okay, so it's a distributed. So once you upload any data into Hadoop, it distributes that into multiple disks, multiple machines. Okay, and now it is spread across multiple machines. And if you want to search in one file, which is spread across multiple machines, all those multiple machines start parallelly processing on their part files, and they come up with the results, and that combined results will be sent to your user. So which is nothing but parallel processing capacity. Okay, and one other most important characteristics people most of the times overlook at this. It's a free open source tool, open source framework. It is an open source framework. On top of it, it is a free framework, free of cost. That's the reason, in my experience, I had to work on at least almost like 5 to 6 migration projects. So out of them, 2 to 3 were like Oracle to Hadoop migration, and Netezza to migration, Hadoop migration also I worked, and Teradata to Hadoop migration also I worked. And MySQL, these are anyway, I mean, most of the times you see. But these things, and even the DB2 also, migration also I have worked. Because these Oracle, Netezza, Teradata, if you really know this, their licensing prices, they are like millions of dollars per year, not just one single million. Whereas with, I mean, if I need to give one real-time example, with 1 year Oracle license, enterprise license, you can buy at least 50 node Hadoop Cloudera enterprise license, and as well as hardware as also. This is one time. From next year onwards, your Cloudera enterprise support license is pretty cheap, almost like I can say 1,000th of, at least 1,000th of your Oracle license cost. Okay, so you may ask me one more question. As I was telling, it's a free and open source. Why are you again telling the cost of 110,000? Okay, there are free frameworks also, and there are some enterprise frameworks, commercial editions also. Those things I will. What is cluster? Cluster is a group of machines connected through a network. One machine can access data of another machine through this network. Exactly. Means like network of machines. Okay. Yeah. So don't hesitate to ask even the basic questions if you are not aware of. If you come across any new keyword, you can stop me if it is hard stop for continuing further. Otherwise, for every 20 minutes, I will try to give a pass so that I will check whether I can move ahead or not. Okay. So do we need load manager, resource load manager, or gateway? Load manager URLs are needed for some of the tools. Yes. The answer is yes for you, Anand. Maybe we call them as a load balancer URLs. Yes, I will cover that during our Impala connections or Hive connections. I will explain you that. Okay, so this is the reason why people are migrating to Hadoop. It saves a lot of cost. As part of cost cutting, enterprises are moving towards the Hadoop frameworks. Okay, and this is as per the books, as per the theory. Hadoop runs on even on commodity hardware. Okay, so this statement you have to carefully listen. It can run even on commodity hardware. Commodity hardware means your regular laptops like 8 GB RAM or 12 GB RAMs or something like that, even 16 GB RAMs. These are regular day-to-day use hardware, right? Even on those, you can run your Hadoop. But coming to the practicality, coming to the reality, in your real time, in any enterprise organizations, you will see there is a typical Hadoop node configurations, which is not at all a commodity hardware. That I will explain you tomorrow. Okay. So what I am trying to conclude in this point is that Hadoop can run on your regular laptops as well as the big servers also. But coming to the enterprise organizations, they choose servers to give the better performance. Yes, it can run on commodity hardware. Earlier in Yahoo and Facebook, they were maintaining a clusters of 4,000 nodes, 5,000 nodes, 10,000 nodes also. And each with 8 GB RAMs, 12 GB RAMs, and 16 GB RAMs machines only. Now, the reason why they went with that commodity hardware earlier days, like 2-3 years back, they were not having big server configuration machines available with that low cost. Now, the high-end configuration servers also are available with just $20,000 or something like that. Okay, so that server configurations, all those things I will explain tomorrow when I explain the architecture. Okay. And data locality optimizations. This is more related to distributed. Excuse me. Data locality optimization. This is more related to distributed storage processing. Let's say you have your 1 GB file distributed across, let's assume some 8 machines. Okay. So on each machine 128 MB file is there. Okay. Machine 1 128 MB, machine 8 again another 128 MB file. So how it splits those files into these parts and how it distributes all those things, I will cover tomorrow. Okay. No worries. Don't worry about all those things. So data locality optimization means in traditional processing engines, where you will have two main components. One is processing engine, and data storage layer. In that traditional processing mechanisms, if you have 1 GB file here, and if you need to process this 1 GB file, you have to copy this 1 GB file into your processing engine where your processing capacity is there. Like processing capacity means CPU and RAM and some IO channels. Including these 3 components, we call your performance will be decided based purely on these 3 factors: your CPU capacity and your RAM memory capacity and your IO channels capacity. Okay. And this is, we call it as the processing part as well, right? So if you want to read your 1 GB file, which is storing in your data storage layer, you have to copy this 1 GB file into this processing engine, and then you process this and produce the results back to your end user. That is a traditional approach. Now, data locality optimization means you will move this processing capacity to the data storage layer itself. Now, you will have in the machine 1 itself, you will have both data storage and processing capacity also. Earlier, like in the servers, only the disks will be maintained in one place, where your hard disk will only store the data, and CPU and all these things will be present in another machines. Now, to the same machine where your hard disks are connected and the storage is present, on the same machine you will have your CPU, RAM, and IO channels, all of them connected. So this means this is machine 1 itself is one independent processing unit, and this machine 2 or machine 8 is another independent processing unit. Now, instead of moving your data to processing unit, you have moved your processing unit to your data. So that is nothing but data locality optimization. That means you are processing your data locally itself. Wherever that data is present, in that location itself, you are processing that data. That means you have reduced the data copying time. You don't need to copy data from one place to another place. You have eliminated, you have avoided this IO cost, input-output channel transferring cost, data transferring cost you have reduced by moving the CPU and RAM to the same place where your data is present. that is nothing but data locality optimization. Okay. So at least I hope I gave you the high level idea on these characteristics. There is a lot more on distributed storage, how it stores, how it distributes the data into multiple machines, and how it parallelly processes that data back once the data is distributed, and how it achieves the redundancy. All those things we'll discuss tomorrow. Okay. Next, I know it's time is already up, but give me just 5 to 10 more minutes. Let me cover up a few more points here. So whatever you have seen, Apache Hadoop, which is from open source framework, ASF, Apache Software Foundation, which is completely free. You don't even need to pay one single penny for that. You can download it and you can install on your servers and you can do whatever you want. Something like your Linux operating systems, like Ubuntu or CentOS, all these things, Fedora or these things, right? Or Amazon Linux or this. Those are completely open source operating systems. You're always okay to download them and use them. But suddenly some problem arises in your Ubuntu operating system. Whom can you contact? If it is in production servers. So if it is something that is coming for free, there will be no one to support if you get any issues, right? No one will be ready for you to provide you free service as well. They have already given you the free software. They will not provide you the free service as well. So that's why, in case if you are smart enough and if you are having enough resources to fix your own problems, you're always good to go with free open source Hadoop framework. But coming to the practicality and real scenarios, if something goes down in production servers, they can't wait for your open source forums to respond, right? You can't wait. If you have in free source, in open source community, the model is like, if you face some issues with any of the tools, there will be some forums and some Ziras, some communities where you will post your issues, and someone from that open source community can voluntarily answer your questions if he knows those answers. But you can't force anyone, right? And there is no time limit when you can solve your problem. So that's why, so people go for the enterprise licenses. Same as your, even though you are receiving free Ubuntu operating systems or CentOS operating systems, people go for Red Hat Linux enterprise support. And even if you go for Ubuntu, they will take an enterprise license from some Ubuntu communities. Like, we'll pay you this much of dollars per year. Whenever we get any issues in the operating system, you should act as fast. And this is an SLA. Within 24 hours, you should solve our issues. If it is a critical issue, you should solve us in 24 hours. If it is a minor issue or medium issue, you can solve it in 5 days or something like that. Okay, so that is where, for all the open source frameworks, you will find counterpart enterprise frameworks, enterprise support, enterprise license. So if you are smart enough and if you are resource enough, you can obviously go with Apache Hadoop, but which is not the real case in productions. In any enterprise organizations, they will go with one of the commercial Hadoop distributions. And out of them, the most popular one is the Cloudera, and the next popular one is Hortonworks. And Hortonworks is most of the times is, I mean, it's majority of the engineers are from Indian engineers, and you will see some of the tools named by Hindi keywords, Hindi and Sanskrit keywords. There is a tool called Tej. In Hindi, it is meant for speed, right? So on Hortonworks, you see one word for Tej, and one more management tool called Ambari, who is an elephant rider, right? And Hadoop means Hadoop symbol is elephant, and who rides the Hadoop is Ambari, which is again a Sanskrit or Hindi keyword, right? You will see a lot of Indian engineers in Hortonworks, more than Cloudera, and even the naming conventions, it resembles some places. Okay, but Hortonworks is not that popular as Cloudera because of one tool, which is Impala, which makes the drastic difference between your Hortonworks and Cloudera coming to the performance side. Okay, but coming to the licensing cost wise, Hortonworks is relatively even more cheaper than Cloudera. Okay, so when I compare to Oracle, it's almost like, so thousands of Cloudera licenses you can buy with one Oracle enterprise license for 1 year. And compared to Cloudera's licensing cost, Hortonworks is even more cheaper. Okay, so I have experience on both of them. Yeah, but for your practicing, I would recommend to go with Cloudera, because Hortonworks will not give you the graphical user interface. For the beginners, whoever is starting with, you need that GUI feature first to get your hands dirty with Hadoop tools. So once you are familiar with that, then you can maybe you can work on pretty much well both on Cloudera and Hortonworks. So once you practice Cloudera, obviously you can work on Hortonworks as well. There is no doubt in that. Okay, don't worry about that. You don't need a separate course for each of these distributions. And in the industry, you can see other distributions also, like Mapr Hadoop is also there, and Pivotal HD is there, and Intel HD is there, IBM Infosphere, IBM Big Insights is there, Amazon Web Services, EMR is there, Elastic MapReduce is there, and even from Microsoft, HD Insights is there. Okay, so everyone can have their own frameworks. Just get them, but for all these distributions, the source is Apache Hadoop only. This is the source. From here, they will take and they will apply their patches, they will apply their plugins, and they name it as, this is my framework, this is my release. And if you want to use this, some people give it for free. Even IBM Big Insights is for free. Even Cloudera parcels, Cloudera software is also for free, up to 50 nodes. Okay, so beyond 50 nodes, I think these days even that is also free, unless until you require support from them. If you face any issue, if you need immediate help from Cloudera team, then only you need to pay for them. Otherwise, you can download the Cloudera Hadoop and you can install on any number of machines. Earlier it was limit for 50. I think now there is no limit. You can now go ahead and install on any number of machines and you can start using them. If you need only the enterprise support, then only you need to pay them. Okay. Next, the Hadoop history. And then I will wrap up. Remaining slides I will take up tomorrow. Or yeah, I will finish it up in 2 minutes. So all this Hadoop concept, distributed HDFS file system, all these came up from Google's white papers around 2006 or 2007. Google published some distributed file system, which is GFS, Google File System. From there, Yahoo started implementing that file system, and it has came up with HDFS, which is Hadoop Distributed File System, around 2007 or 8. So, and MapReduce also, again, one another white paper from Google based on the same concepts. Yahoo developed the MapReduce framework, and HBase is again from Bigtable, which is white paper from Google. Even this is developed by Yahoo only. All these three major tools are developed, major frameworks are developed by Yahoo company, and Yahoo later it contributed to ASF, Apache Software Foundation. This leaf symbol is for Apache. Okay, so now currently they are Apache Software Foundation open source frameworks. Similarly, there is Hive. Pig is also from Yahoo. Hive is from Facebook, and Scoop is again another from Yahoo and some mixed communities, and Flume from some other companies. So, and Kafka is from LinkedIn, and Spark is from Databricks. Yeah, there are tools coming from different companies. Finally, they end up into Apache Software Foundation open source community, from where everybody can download them and everybody can use them. Only if you need commercial support, then you need to go for commercial vendors, commercial distributors. Okay, so let me stop here. No rush. We can continue these things tomorrow. So before wrapping up the session, any questions on any topics? It could be a general question, or it could be whatever that is related to today's session or something. Any questions from anyone? Okay. So that means everybody is clear with whatever we have discussed so far. So then let's get started tomorrow with the Hadoop architecture, and I will justify all those characteristics. Okay. So this week, how many days are we meeting? Only tomorrow, and again from Monday onwards for Hadoop. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. No, Friday, Saturday, Sunday will be for Spark sessions. They will be for Spark sessions.
Hey, Shiva.
Sunday night, yes. Anand, yes, it's your Sunday night. Correct.
Shiva.
Yeah.
How soon can you get this VM installed on our machines? Or
yes, I will set up this tomorrow. I will show you this setup tomorrow.
Okay.
Yep. So that at least you can get feel by Monday, because you are getting 3 days gap, right? So that you can practice something.
I'm not sure about that, but yeah, at least for us to have something in hands. Yeah.
What is it?
No, not sure about the practicing part, but
okay.
Yeah, we can try.
Yeah, at least you will get feel, right? Okay.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, I will show that installation part tomorrow. Okay.
Sure.
So this batch, I want to show some parcels and configuration stuff as also. May not be the parcel, low-level details of parcels installation, but at least the basic, the flow I will explain. Okay. So how you can install and all. How simple it is, so that you don't need to worry.
Shiva, with this Cloudera distribution and stuff, you were talking about pseudo clusters. Can you show how to install those pseudo clusters on our system too?
Yes, I will show that tomorrow. In tomorrow's class, I will be showing that.
Yeah, including single and multiple node setup.
Multiple node cluster you can't install on your machines. You need at least 3 to 4 machines. You need 3 to 4 laptops to
yeah,
LAN. Same license or same line.
Okay.
You don't need that because I will show you the real-time clusters, how they are connected, and how the data gets distributed. All those things I will show. You don't need all those things.
Okay.
Practicing your pseudo cluster is sufficient.
Okay. Thanks.
Yep. Thank you.
So I have one question, Shiva.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need to? I need to have laptop by tomorrow with 8 GB RAM free.
Yes.
Okay. So we will be doing the installation tomorrow by looking at your videos, right?
Yes. Yes, we'll be doing that installation tomorrow.
Any other requirement?
No, no other requirements. Just it could be either your Windows operating system or your Mac operating system.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks. Any other questions?
And I guess everybody in this class, maybe we can all collaborate together to help each other out. So
Yep, that's why, that's the reason I received all your WhatsApp numbers. I will be creating a group maybe today or tomorrow so that you can collaborate with each other. You can ask questions with each other and you can post questions to me, something like that. Right?
Probably, yeah, that would be good.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, everyone.
All right.
Let's meet at the same time tomorrow. Okay, 7 a.m. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Yep.